Hey folks, this is Kelani. With the new patch comes all new and exciting ways to get higher item level gear. With the new raid, the highest item level gear that can drop baseline is 970, which is a huge number. Add to that our now item level 1000 legendaries, and we're getting to some crazy item levels. So let's have a look at how you can gear now that Taurus the Burning Throne has released. If you're coming back to the game or starting out new, maybe it's your first character or you want to get an alt up to speed, you'll want to start with Argus. On Argus you can complete world quests which can award some decent gear, but your main goal here should be Veiled Argonite. You can use these Veiled Argonite to purchase item level 910 gear from Thaumaturge Vashrin on the Vindicar. You're going to need to get a little bit of gear under your belt before you can really start hanging with the big boys, because at this point I don't think anyone will give someone below 900 item level a decent chance with almost any form of content. So farm up some Veiled Argonite, maybe run a few Mythic or Mythic Plus dungeons, but your goal here is to get around 915 item level as quickly as possible. You can get your hands on some Veiled Argonite by completing world quests on Argus, invasion points on Argus, and also by killing rares and looting chests on Argus. While you're there, you may as well knock out that greater invasion point as well, because that's a chance at 930 item level gear. One great way to bump up your item level is to upgrade 2 of your legendaries to the new cap of item level 1000. Having 2 of those huge powerhouse pieces of gear can not only jumpstart your item level, but give your DPS or healing a boost too. To upgrade your legendaries, you need to visit the blacksmith in Dalaran after completing an activity which rewards some Wakening Essence. Wakening Essence can be acquired by completing a daily heroic dungeon, from your daily emissary caches, from Taurus the Burning Throne bosses on any difficulty, your weekly Mythic Plus chest in your order hall, and your weekly PvP rewards. Complete any of those activities for the first time and you'll get a Cursed Shard. Hand that over to the blacksmith in Dalaran to start your upgrading adventures. You'll need 50 essence per legendary, which shouldn't be too hard to acquire if you're doing your emissaries and daily heroics at the very least. You might be surprised how many item levels you will get by just upgrading your legendaries. If you're still struggling to get your item level up past the 920 mark, running Tomb of Sargeras on heroic mode might still be worthwhile. You have a chance at getting your hands on some item level 915 loot from Tomb, which can help fill in any gaps you might have with low item level gear still, or even just upgrade your 910 pieces from Veiled Argonite. Heroic Tomb should be fairly easy to get a group for and should be decently quick to complete, seeing as it's now an old raid. There's always a chance for some Autumn Titan Forged loot as well. The tier 20 sets from Tomb of Sargeras might also help your DPS or healing quite a bit for certain classes, as those set bonuses are usually very good. The first wing of Taurus Raid Finder just opened as well, which also awards item level 915 loot. You need to have an item level of 890 to join, and as the weeks go by, more and more bosses will become available, so it's always a good idea to do Taurus LFR if you're still below 920 item level. Right now, the best way to actually gear up past 920 is probably to get yourself into some Mythic Plus runs. If you can complete a Mythic Plus 10 dungeon, you get 915 loot at the end of the dungeon, which is right on par with Tomb of Sargeras Heroic and arguably might be easier to get a group for, especially if you're using your own key. If you run your own key and get friends, guildies or even pugs to help with it, you might be surprised how high you can go. If you can get up to a plus 13 and complete that, you're guaranteed to have 930 loot drop at the end of the dungeon, which is the same item level as Tomb of Sargeras Mythic loot or the new Taurus Raid normal loot. Push up to a plus 15 and you can get 940 loot from just running dungeons. Even if you can't get a piece of gear for every single slot from Mythic Plus, getting a few pieces from dungeons above a plus 10 key is probably easier and faster than trying to get yourself into an Taurus raid with a low item level. It's worth noting that Mythic Plus is still one of the best ways to obtain high item level gear thanks to the weekly order hall chest. If you complete a plus 15 key, which is the current weekly maximum for rewards, your weekly chest will contain a guaranteed piece of 960 item level gear. The weekly chest also has the highest chance to Titan Forge out of all loot in the game, which means making sure you get as high a key done as possible per week will almost always yield a decent upgrade. Even if you can't manage to get a 15 done on your character for whatever reason, getting at least something done so you have an item to loot in that chest every week is a great way to work towards increasing your item level. When you get yourself closer to the 930 mark, you can probably get yourself into normal Taurus. It's still early days for Taurus, so make sure you do a little research on how every boss works, so you're not going in blind. That can get you kicked faster than anything else when it comes to perks. But because it's so early, you should expect a lot of groups to have quite a bit of progression on some bosses. It's not going to be constant one-shots unless you get super lucky, but normal and Taurus will reward you with 930 item level loot, which probably replaces half of your gear if you haven't been raiding Mythic Tomb of Sargeras the last few months. The last boss of Taurus, Argus the Unmaker, drops gear which is 10 item levels higher than the rest of the raid, so normal Argus will drop 940 items, making him an extremely important boss for you to kill if you want a higher item level. Once you're done with normal, you can start working on Heroic and Taurus. Each boss you manage to kill can yield 945 gear, which is huge for pretty much everyone at this point. Obviously, that means that Argus on Heroic will drop 955 loot, except for his Pantheon Trinkets. They're a bit special and we'll get to those in just a second. Mythic and Taurus just opened up this week, and it's kind of crazy that as of recording this, 9 bosses have already died. I wonder how long Agrimart on Argus will last at this rate. If you're in a guild that starts raiding Mythic, or planning on raiding Mythic, you can get item level 960 loot for each boss you manage to kill. Whenever you manage to get to Argus the Unmaker on Mythic, his gear will be a whopping 970 item level, which is the highest base item level that can drop in the game at this moment in time. Because this is the last raid tier of the expansion, I would probably expect it to stay that way for quite a while, so if you really want the best of the best, you're going to have to get a guild and raid Mythic and Taurus. So I mentioned the Pantheon Trinkets, which are very special. They always drop at 940 item level regardless of difficulty. They also drop as personal loot, so you can't master loot them out. If you get one, you get one. If you don't, well, I guess you need to just keep trying. As of this week, killing Argus the Unmaker will also give you an item called Pantheon's Blessing. This can be used on a trinket to upgrade it by 5 item levels up to a max of 1000. Note that the Pantheon's Trinkets and the upgrade item don't drop on Raid Finder, so you'll need to do it at least on normal if you want to get these items. You can, however, get these upgrade tokens even if you don't have a trinket, so just keep killing Argus every week, hoard the upgrade tokens, and when your trinket eventually drops for you, you can upgrade it as many times as you've killed Argus. As with every other type of raid loot, these upgrade tokens can only be gained once a week, so eventually you'll end up with at least one trinket at item level 1000 to go along with your 2 legendaries. But wait, there's more. Argus also has a chance to drop Manthul's Vision, which is a legendary trinket but doesn't contribute to your 2 legendary cap. That trinket is also personal loot, so if you manage to get your hands on one, you can have 3 item level 1000 pieces of gear earlier than everyone else. Sadly, you can't equip Manthul's trinket with another Pantheon trinket, so you won't ever be able to use 4 item level 1000 pieces. But hey, we can dream. The last thing you want to watch out for is the new Taurus raid cash mission from your mission boards. Every little piece of loot helps, so whenever that mission pops up, complete the mission and then go complete the quest. An extra piece of loot from normal, heroic, or even mythic and Taurus is awesome no matter what your item level is. And that's how you can get your item level up in the current patch. Try to get Argus killed as many weeks as you can. It seems like he's the real key to getting a crazy item level this time around. Are you excited for another round of treadmill grinding for item level, or are you tired and bored of it at this point? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.